So, good job, guys. All that port begging worked. We got Persona to be ported to the PC.
We want Persona on Switch, Persona 3, 4, 5, 5R, anything. You want your voice heard? Then speak up. Hashtag break free Persona. Let's get it trending. Let's tell Atlus what we want and what we need as fans and everything. Let's.
As it's been well documented, the PC has gotten Persona 4 Golden, and I couldn't be happier personally. And here's why. I think it indicates that we'll be seeing more PC ports in the near future. In my previous videos regarding hashtags and port begging, I relayed the idea of how useless it was to do these things in order to get what you wanted. Wow! Many of the begging plans focused on the Switch ports, which I don't think is off the table, but I think I have to explain some things first. Hello fellow Megatennants and welcome to Fusion Accident. Catherine Classic premiered on Steam in January 2019, much to everyone's surprise, seeing as Full Body was released a month later in Japan, and in September of that same year worldwide. But it was an interesting move. This port was handled by The Eccentric Ape, a British-based company whose website mentions how they are reliable and fast-working, and their body of works includes Sega titles. This game sold pretty well. According to Steam Spy, it sold anywhere between 200 to 500,000 units so far. That's huge for an old game, and it's not even the most recent version of said old game. This is a game that wasn't promoted by Atlus Japan, and it doesn't appear that Atlus Japan had much influence on Catherine Classic's release. The game doesn't even include the Studio Zero logo in the opening credits, which would indicate that they had some involvement. Clearly not, because like I said earlier, the Eccentric Ape handled the port. Although that 200 to 500k seems small to us, here's what Sega's Executive Vice President of Publishing had to say in regards to it. Everyone's really pleased with it. We're really pleased with it. It's performed well and the audience is happy, he says. I think for us, it was always step one. Let's launch Catherine, which then gives the IP owners and business owners at Atlus, who are in their first foray into the PC market, the ability to evaluate the success and how that can fit into their future roadmap. I'm pleased to say they now have that information, so they're able to evaluate it. For us, it was a positive experience, and hopefully they'll share that and consider it in their own roadmap. Essentially, this could be boiled down to, it did well, Atlus can use that data to figure out what to do next. The next step ended up being a year-long silence. Because it's Atlus! And then, the leaks started. He said, she said grumblings that we'd be getting Persona 4 Golden on PC merely days before the PC gaming conference, which Atlus teased would have huge news. And yeah, it happened. It's not even been a week since it's been released, and it already beat all RPGs as the top RPG in terms of concurrent players. It's safe to say that it's been raking in the dough. And all the while, the original release of Persona 4 Golden netted around 700k to 1.25 million in sales, depending on if you're going to trust the monetary guessing website VG Charts, or Atlus's vague sales reporting. P4G got pushed significantly harder than Catherine Classic as well, seeing Atlus and Japanese outlets posting about it, as well as it being included in the Humble Bundle choice and being on sale at Fanatical among other sales. Review copies went out, and as soon as the game was officially up for purchase, we got a slew of reviews from such epic, reputable sources such as GameXplain and Polygon. And yeah, I'm being facetious. If you give a game a perfect score, in my opinion, you're just not doing your job, because you're saying the game is perfect and can't be improved. That's super duper lazy journalism, and I would never turn off ad block for those types of websites or YouTubers. So, suck a lip. Anyway, if Catherine Classic was step 1, then Persona 4 Golden is step 2. It's worth noting that this port wasn't handled by the Eccentric Ape, or at least not entirely, kind of a little sketchy on the details. The project overall seems to be an Atlus Japan x Atlus West effort with the company pre-app partners. The pre-app partners seem to be involved with virtual YouTubing, animation, and game development. I couldn't really figure out exactly what they did based on the credits of Persona 4 Golden on Steam, besides that they worked closely with Atlus Japan on the port. This is supported by Panhime, who's a pretty consistent Futaba tier computer user. It's significant because I've held the notion, based on many statements from Atlus Japan staff, that frankly they focus on the Japanese audience they've cultivated. Steam isn't very popular in Japan, and neither were any any of the articles or posts regarding the Steam port. I actually saw the top comments for this being port begging for PS4 ports or Switch ports instead. The IGN streams for the Japanese audience were amazing. Less than 7,000 views and less than 40 comments. What I'm trying to say is that it seems to be that the port was intended for a Western audience. I nearly exclusively follow die-hard Mega Tennis, and most of them are Japanese. And I've seen them play the game, but in this case, they are the minority. So what's the takeaway? To me, this means that more Atlus ports are coming to Steam in the future. If the newest rumors are to be believed, then the next title will be Persona 3. I heard another rumor that it's Persona 3 portable. I've seen a weird correlation people are making in that this Steam port indicates that there'll be Switch ports soon. I think it's clearly indication mainline games aren't locked up by Atlus anymore, or ever. But that being said, it doesn't guarantee Switch ports. Though, if I'm honest, I don't think a Switch port of Persona 4G would even sell that well. At least not like the Steam port, which I think will hit 500,000 units sold by the end of summer. That isn't to say that I'm against the idea of porting, it's just that I don't see that as the next logical step. Frankly, I'm expecting ports to PS4 or PS5 instead. I'm also curious to see how long the Nuvo is used, since it's trash. I personally hope it's only used in the first couple months, and I can't wait to see mods. I've already seen one mod, it's the Naruto mod of course, which is interesting to say the least. But let's try and do some bizarre things. Maybe recreate Persona 1 in this engine. Maybe make an arcade in Junes where you can play Persona 5. Sky's the limit. Also, don't feed the trolls and try to be nice to the new people on Steam. Well, that's it for the video. What ports do you want to see? Honestly, for me, I kind of want them to do all the Persona games, and then all the PlayStation 2 era games, then some stuff that we never got in English like Synchronicity Prologue. I mean, come on guys, the game's like 5 hours long, and I'd gladly pay $15 for it. Also, the subscriber special is still coming soon. I didn't forget, I promise. Another thing, the song in this video is The Nocturne Sound Test. I know I'll get that in the comments, so anyway, goodbye fellow Mega Tennists.